Hey, greetings, everyone. It's Naomi Wolf, and I'm so happy to have one of our favorite guests and one of our most distinguished sponsors back with us, and that is Shannon Davis of American Alternative Assets. Welcome back, Mr. Davis.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back. Looking forward to hanging with you again.
It was so much fun, and we learned so much last time. So let me refresh people's memory about your extensive bio. Shannon Davis is, as I mentioned, the CEO of American Alternative Assets. And this is a U.S. firm that helps individuals and retirement account holders invest in physical precious metals such as gold and silver as part of their wealth preservation strategy. He has, I love this part, his interest in alternative metals began when he was 9 years old, and his grandfather gave him a silver Morgan coin, a gift that sparked a lifelong interest in precious metals. Davis has a background in venture capital and finance, which he combined with his passion for metals to build one of America's prominent gold IRA companies. So American Alternative Assets has positioned itself as a guide for everyday investors looking to hedge against inflation, debt, and economic uncertainty. And we talked about all three of those when we last spoke. I'm sure we're going to learn things have only gotten more dire. And the firm emphasizes strategic ownership of, quote, tangible assets, also offers education to people. And so we have such a rich trove of knowledge here, and I'm sure that the news events have progressed. So let's just launch right in. Can we launch right in?
Yeah, definitely. No, it continues to progress. Definitely.
I was afraid you would say that. So the sub headline that I want you to explain is AI masking economic reality and institutional control. What do you mean by that? Sounds so scary.
Yeah. Well, with what it means in just simple terms, I mean, AI, we're in a AI bubble or a boom. And you can go back to the 1920s, right? The roaring 20s, as they call them. So we've been accustomed to what they call boom bust eras for a very, very long time. And this one's very similar to like our dot-com bubble and the bust that we experienced after that market was heavily inflated. We're experiencing the same thing right now with the AI boom, right? We're in a bubble. You know, if you look at like the big five tech companies that heavily concentrate our markets, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, which are all getting absolutely hammered over the last week. You know, these five companies now represent 35, give or take, % of the entire S&P 500.
Oh my gosh.
And a long time ago, that was, you know, S&P was 500 companies. It's grown over time. It's obviously kept its name. You know, but NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, you know, these are what's holding up our market. I mean, this is what, you know, is truly driving our stock market. And I think where a lot of people get confused is they think our economy is doing well just because the stock market is absolutely going gangbusters this year. And it's, you know, it has hit all-time highs. It's regressing from there now. But most index funds are market capped, you know, and weighted with these type of assets. You know, retirees, 401ks, they're exposed to these type of assets without knowing it. You know, this is what's been holding up our market for quite some time. And, you know, it's very similar to, you know, what you extensively researched when it came to Pfizer and the book that you wrote and the whole like there's a lot of manipulation within these markets.
Can I jump in there,
Mr.
Davis, and restate for economic dummies like myself, you know, like
sure.
Dummies, not to put myself down, just I don't have a specialized background. Can I restate what I think you said? So I'm sure I understand what's dangerous about it.
Sure.
Okay. You're saying that the AI boom, I think you said, is a bubble, not could be a bubble. and that we've seen bubbles before. And one of the stats that is jumping out at me from the notes you shared is that 95% of AI investing companies have zero returns at this point, right? So
Right.
they're not actually like Disney producing, or, US Steel producing a thing that
Correct.
is being sold. And you're also saying that people with IRAs are exposed to these companies, which are a gigantic, 5 companies, 35% of the S&P. That's a gigantic chunk of the economy, and with just 5 companies,
Yep.
they're exposed without even knowing it, meaning their wealth managers or stockbrokers might have invested in Amazon or Nvidia or these other, AI forward tech companies. Is that what you're saying? And
Yeah.
so if there's a collapse of the value of those tech companies, it's going to possibly collapse people's IRA value. Is all of that correct, what I just said?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that simple. Yep.
Then before we go on, I really want to tease this out a tiny bit more, if I may.
Okay. Yeah.
You're scaring me to death.
Well, that's not the
I know
purpose.
it's not the goal, but
Yeah.
you're not scaring me to death with hype. You're scaring
Right.
me to death because I'm realizing something. Okay.
Right.
So right now I'm just thinking about AI. And I'm thinking about it, and you're right to bring up Pfizer, because I remember thinking at the beginning of the pandemic, the reason I didn't get vaccinated, I don't think I mentioned this, is that biotech journals read by venture capitalists were more excited about mRNA technology than medical journals were.
Hmm.
So it read like a bubble to me. I mean, I have a tech company,
Right.
and it was like, go, 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 mRNA. And all the signals were invest in this because the other tech bros have invested in this, because the other tech bros have invested in this, and not necessarily this is a successful technology that's really going to work and change humanity for the better.
Right.
So I thought I'll just wait this out, because that sounds like a bubble, meaning they all get in, they make their money. I don't quite get how it sounds like kind of a Ponzi scheme, because someone's not going to make money in the end. Then
Right.
they all get out and move on to the next thing. But in the meantime, they have to have a story that kind of inflates the value and allows them to make $1 gazillion when they get out. So
Yeah.
now the reason I'm getting scared, Mr. Davis, is that I'm thinking of the story of AI, right? It launched all of a sudden, and it was huge headlines, and the headlines are, it's going to change everything, and nothing's going to be left without AI. And then you had this dramatic kind of rollout of all these tech bros with President Trump at the beginning of the administration, and they're all building their giant data centers, and like, what is it? It's software. Like, no one really knows what it is. And then when I'm in India, I was in India for business, and I was very struck with the fact that the way they cover AI in India is very different. I don't recall if you and I talked about this, but it's much more technical. And they cover it like, here it's covered like, this is a magical thing you can't possibly understand. It's God. You can't understand it. You have to bow down to it.
Right.
There it's like, this is how it works. These are classes you need to take to deal with it. This is how they talk about it like it's a new thing that we're training our young people to run, right?
Yeah.
But not like it's, a magical being on the planet from a spaceship. So the reason it's all scaring me is this is the way the vaccine got rolled out. It's so effective, what is the word? Warp speed.
Yeah.
Even more so, like, right? It's going to change everything. We can't even explain it to you.
Yeah.
Right. And so while you're talking, there's like, the story of AI has been bothering me. And it's partly because you can explain anything, technology, even the most complicated technology can be explained.
Yeah.
But I keep thinking, like, how is AI going to be better than the inputs in AI? AI can't be better than the things that AI is eating, right?
Right.
And so it's only going to be as good as a lot of human brains are, right?
Yeah.
How is it magical? But I'm going to stop there by saying, given that I can't figure out how it's more magical than the inputs, and given that the narrative in our country, unlike India, is this will change everything, it feels like a bubble, right?
Well, I think you nailed it there. It's the narrative that's fed from what they're saying on AI, it being magical, changing the world. And it's an amazing technology. Look, we use it here. I use it. I mean, it's a tool that I use in my tool belt. But I'm the one feeding it. It does remember. It's amazing. It really is, the technology. But that's exactly what it is. It's technology. It's software. It's getting. I mean, literally, AI will probably change and get better by the time we're done with this interview.
Right.
I mean, that's how fast it's moving, and there's no real control over it. Right. That's the part that is really scary. Is that there's no control. It can be used to manipulate things. Right. The algorithms that they're able to. I mean, it's over our heads for sure, but it's a real threat because this is what the narrative has pumped. Like, this is going to change the world, but really, is it? At the end of the day. And yeah, a lot of people have made quite a bit of money on NVIDIA because they cornered the market. They don't even have any product, right? They don't even have chips that they make, right? They don't even have any real technology.
Wow.
They're just a massive company with a lot of volume.
What do they say they make? I'm sorry. How do they describe?
No, my point is they don't even make the technology. They just have all the structured deals that push the technology through their company, and then it's like reinvesting, kind of like what you were talking about with Pfizer and some insider stuff with FDA putting just more money back into the big wheel for Pfizer to profit. NVIDIA has profited the owner of the company and founder is a multi-billionaire now, and that's okay, right? That's okay. But when you talk about the AI bubble, you're starting to see from many specialists and economists out there that there is a bubble that is starting to burst. There's a lot of different bubbles going on. We've got a debt bubble going on right now, a credit bubble, a real estate bubble. Some call it the everything bubble. If you look at 2008, for example, which there's a lot of similarities, there was only one bubble at the time.
Right. The real estate bubble, right?
Correct. Correct. In today's time, you fast forward, quite some time, there's a lot of things.
Hey everyone, it's Naomi Wolf of Outspoken and Daily Clout, and I want to tell you about gold. Every major financial collapse has been preceded by the same 7 warning signs: before the Great Depression, before the 1970s stagflation, before the crash of 2008, and now all 7 are flashing red again for the first time in over 15 years. American Alternative Assets just released a free report called the Bellwether Signal. It breaks down each of these signals and shows you how to protect your retirement before the next wave hits. In times of uncertainty, gold has always been the ultimate safe haven. It held strong in 2008. It surged during the inflation crisis of the 70s, and it remains one of the few assets not tied to political manipulation or central bank policy. Find out why central banks are buying gold and precious metals in record amounts and how you can too. Call 855-803-GOLD or visit cloutgold.com. That's cloutgold.com to get your free copy of the Bellwether Signal. That's 855-803-GOLD or cloutgold.com. Learn the signs, protect your savings, make your move while you still can.
Things that have been inflated, and there's just bubbles everywhere, and they're starting to bust. Once a bubble gets too big, what happens?
Inevitably, they collapse. Is that economic?
Yeah. Well, no. If you think about like just the bubbles you used to play with when you were a kid,
actual bubbles,
like an actual bubble. I mean, this is where the concept comes from. Is a bubble, and they eventually do burst depending on how aggressive you are with them. And in this market right now, they've been extremely aggressive with it. It's fueled our stock market, and what goes up must come down.
How is AI, like, forgive this very basic question, but when people invest in AI, like, well, you sort of explained NVIDIA's business model, but say, all these companies, Larry Ellison's company, right? When he's building a giant AI center, or when people are kind of building AI and sucking up this vast amount of spending. I see that the AI spending in 2025 was $375 billion, projected 500 billion next year, which is insane. Are they making a tool that then everyone can use to make their, businesses more profitable? Or are they making a data center that will just keep inhaling all the data sets and getting richer and richer so that they're monopolizing information? Or are they, building things that build other things so that the economy becomes more productive? Like, what is it that this 500 billion is investing in, and what's going to come out of it? Because tell you where I'm going with this. Arguably, if AI is this good at efficiencies, it could contract the economy, because it could replace all these workers, and the workers don't have money to spend at the mall. And then no one, AI doesn't need your Nikes, because it doesn't have feet. Do you know what I mean?
100%. The answer to your question is all of them. It's all the above. Microsoft is, they're AI driven to capture data, to better market someone. They use AI instead of an actual human being to do the work of the person they're attracting. And you're already seeing that now. I mean, that is really the root of our issue since COVID. Is there has been no hiring and little firing. So unemployment hasn't adjusted much throughout that period, but it's all the above that you just mentioned. And it drives all three of those different questions that you asked, hands down. It's that simple.
So it could be producing technologies that will make your business and my business more profitable. And it could be streamlining, say, manufacturing, so that 10 robots do the job of what used to be 100 people. So 90 people don't have money to spend at the mall. Like, is that what you mean when you say it's doing all of that?
Well, yeah, exactly what I mean. And not even spend money at the mall, pay their car payment, pay their mortgage, pay off their credit card bill, because that's what they've been living off of, because they don't make enough money to pay their bills. And this just compounds the issue that we've had for years, is where incomes have not grown with the cost of goods, and that's continuing to happen. Things get more expensive, but incomes don't go up, because businesses are having some challenges right now. I mean, Wendy's, fast food chain, is closing a bunch of their doors. Verizon is laying off 15% of their staff.
Oh my gosh.
Verizon, 15% of Verizon's entire staff. That's a lot of people. So there's something called the beverage curve, where it's the amount of jobs versus the actual people that are looking for jobs, by Mr. Beveridge. He was actual doctor. That's where they came up with the beverage curve. And that's starting to flatten out, because now it's starting to catch up, where now people are starting to get laid off. The exact opposite of no one having a job to get. There was no hiring going on. So UPS, FedEx, Amazon, I mean, we're seeing some pretty big layoffs. So that's really where the economy is having some challenges. Is it's come to a screeching halt, and why they're switching from quantitative tightening to quantitative easing by, pumping some money however they can back into the economy. And that's it. That's that simple.
What's the role of AI in these layoffs, in your view, Mr. Davis?
Well, think about you. I mean, you just mentioned to yourself, it's really just common sense. If you've got a computer that can literally pick up a phone call and do the customer service for that customer call in, you MasterCard. I mean, I call Domino's Pizza and order a pizza for my kids. It's AI.
Oh my God.
I mean, there must be many of your viewers out there that have ordered a pizza. It's even down to that type of company, like a Domino's.
Right.
And it's a AI, it's a bot, and you know it. There's no hiding it. and that's how I'm ordering my pizza. And I get my pizza within 30 minutes, no problems asked, and paid for, and it's simple. So that same person that would be in the Domino's store picking up that phone is no longer there.
Right.
And what were they really making anyways? But at least they were making something rather than nothing.
Oh my gosh. This is so chilling. So what sectors, can I ask you this? Why, given that, what's the logic of importing 30 million people from other countries?
That is a great question. I mean, common sense. Wow. For me, it would just be, strengthening, our base of labor jobs that are still available.
Got it.
Yeah, because we're deporting quite a bit of people at this juncture. The ones that are doing the jobs that no one else wants to do, like, be in a strawberry field, picking strawberries like that. Like we're getting rid of those workers, and you can't plug AI into something like that, obviously. So I would say maybe for that, or we still want to hold up the narrative of land of the free, like opportunity. You have you can reach your dreams in America. I mean, that would be the only logical thing. The technical answer to that is a great question. I wouldn't truly know.
So let me move on. What sectors do you see growing? Like if you had an 18-year-old, considering training for a career, what would you tell him or her? What do you see expanding? What's still going to need humans?
Yeah. Oh, still need humans. Yeah, it's so tough because your brick and mortar shops, you still have your Costco's and your Targets and your Walmarts and your grocery stores and your car dealerships. Now, say Chevy's car dealership. I mean, you still need workers there out on the lot, meeting people, talking to them, human interaction. But inside the dealership, there's going to be a lot of technology with AI that only strengthens the business to be more efficient, but it won't be able to sell a car on its own. So I think the American type of stuff that we've always had available to us will always be there. But the challenges the Targets are having, and the car dealerships are having, and the grocery stores are having, is that our economy is coming to a screeching halt. I mean, if you look at the numbers, and if they don't continue to change what the definition of a recession is, we're in a recession. And so it's not about the actual what human being can still work somewhere. It's can these Targets still afford to have a bunch of human beings working there for them when no one's going in and spending money because they don't have enough money to spend at Target because they don't make enough money or they're not working, period.
Gotcha. Oh, and so you're describing a gigantic infrastructure. Who controls it? Is there any public oversight?
Controls the
AI infrastructure.
Yeah. Who controls this infrastructure? No public. There's no public oversight. This is all, internal within our government. I mean, the CIA, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me, it could be wrong, but I believe they designed originally AI, the CIA.
Really?
If I remember reading an article correctly on that. And so do your own research on that for sure, but that's what I remember. Wow. And so but it's not you or I. It's not, it's not someone like that. It's definitely within our political systems, our government. It's all ran by that.
So this is important because other booms, right? Like the real estate boom, our government could say, hey, mortgages, I mean, they didn't in time, but they could have said, these prime mortgages are not good policy. It's going to be bad for everyone. Let's tighten up, how money's lent in mortgages. Or the government could have intervened in other booms to protect us. I mean, even the FDIC, right? To kind of limit how much you're risking when you keep your money in a bank. But with AI, it seems like we're no one who's on our side is necessarily running it, and even the people running it don't even fully understand it, is the bottom line, right? Like, is this different from other booms in this regard?
This is the BlackRocks of the world, right? Larry Fink, for example, who runs the biggest hedge fund in the entire country. Like these are the companies
Wow.
that are running things like that, and that's the truth. Guys like that, billionaires that have billions of dollars that are feeding the dollars for the technology growth and benefiting from it because they sell a ton of these things within their hedge funds to their investors. That's where I was talking about earlier, where it's just company putting money into its own company to inflate the. You've got stock buybacks by companies all the time. I mean, when COVID hit, Tesla borrowed a bunch of money at 0% interest before they started raising the rates, and just took that money and put it right back into his company to build it back up and inflate the stock. And Elon Musk is a brilliant man, but this is what a lot of companies do within the stock market. And that's what I mean by there's a lot of manipulation, and there's winners out there. And, if you're managing your account daily, keeping an eye on it, having more of a short-term mentality because things move quickly in the market now. I mean, one day it's up 1,000 and then the next day it's down 1,000. Do you really make money? Why is it down 1,000 the next day? Because hedge funds are selling off massive amounts of stock while people like you and I are still buying more of NVIDIA. And so you just have to make sure you're watching everything and staying focused on your account and taking control of your own destiny. And that's where our education always comes from. Like we don't tell people what to buy. We just educate them on what to buy when it comes to gold and silver. They're making the decision. It's a self-directed IRA for a reason. So, in a world of very little control, at least you can have some control of what you're putting your money into.
Wow. I mean, what you're describing is so scary because I don't think Larry Fink understands where AI can go. I mean, this is a complete unintended consequences. It could eat itself. There could be a day when AI has ingested all the data and can't go further. No, I'm not kidding. This is kind of the way I felt about the mRNA technology. It's like totally new in human history. So this is new in human history, right? Yeah. And there's no guarantees. I think what amazes me, Mr. Davis, about human logic is that people keep thinking that because things have been a certain way, they'll always be a certain way. And so they assume that, right? So they assume that there are normal boundaries and guardrails that they're familiar with in their lifetimes or in, the history of the last 500 years. But there have been whole civilizations that collapsed because of, a volcano or a tidal wave, or, someone brought in too many sheep and overgrazed, and, the whole civilization collapsed.
Yes.
Much, human sacrifice, right? And so we have no guarantee that AI won't collapse on itself, won't collapse economies, won't collapse currencies. I mean, we literally can't predict what it's going to do. And so for that reason alone, I would think like what you're describing to me is quite terrifying. I don't want all my savings, a third of it mixed up in a technology that the people who own it don't yet fully understand what the future is going to look like, right? For that reason alone, I would want to diversify.
100%. That's truly what it's about. Things are moving so quickly that, what you just explained is uncertainty. There's other uncertainties that are going on, and it's really about just preparing yourself for if it does happen.
Right.
And if it does happen, go ahead.
What are other uncertainties? What you described, all those bubbles that you described?
Well, when you talk about, for me, why is so much of our military in Venezuela right now, right? They're saying it's because of the cartels, right? But if you look at it's all about like the waters, the ports, and what can be in like China, what can come through. Some say Russia is parked right behind it because they can, everybody's now working on missiles and they can shoot missiles. Like, why are we really heavily putting our military in Venezuela? It's not the cartel. That's not where it's coming from. So to me, I look at that. That's uncertainty. There's political manipulation there, I feel, but do your own research, right? But there's uncertainty everywhere. There's uncertainty in our credit market. There's uncertainty in our dollar. Our dollar bill is absolutely getting crushed. Ever since we removed ourselves from the gold standard in 1971, we've lost almost 97% of our purchasing power. Like the dollar is uncertain. It's still the strongest currency in the entire world, but that's becoming less and less and less. And all empires, they fall, right? I mean, that's how we took empire over when the British fell in 1920. So that's what I mean by uncertainty. There's uncertainty everywhere. Our car market, right? The cars are there's huge repos. Our real estate market, commercial real estate market. Like there's uncertainty in a lot of different places, and there's certainty in other places as well. So it's really about just managing your portfolio with the right amount of risk,
right,
and no risk. And when you talk about just having a proper hedge in place of something that's inverse to uncertainty, right? When the markets are uncertain and they're unstable and the dollar is unstable, gold and silver go up.
right.
When the markets are strong, gold kind of just stays flat and it's linear. So it's just about being prepared when things change. You want to make sure you're on the other side when it changes. And then when the market crashed in 2008, if you were fully in the market, you lost quite a bit.
Oh,
if you were still in the market and had some gold and silver or platinum or a mixture, you at least were able to hedge against some of the losses with some gains. That's the concept. It's really that simple when we talk to people.
I mean, it's that simple, but also, and I don't repeat myself, but it's like now more than ever, right? Because before, like 15 years ago, if I was mostly invested in the stock market, I could look at there's the Exxon and there's Disney and there's Coca-Cola, and I knew I could understand what I was invested in, and I could think, well, people will always buy Coke, or Disney has a hit movie out or whatever. And now with AI, I literally can't make any educated guesses at all about my portfolio, right? About a third of it, if I'm invested in any of those companies, or my hedge fund or my financial advisor invests in those.
100%. It's like crypto. What is crypto, right? I've got some extremely volatile market. I mean, it's absolutely good. It's correct. That's correcting right now as well. Like Bitcoin was all the way up to 120, for 120,000 for one coin. Amazing. I mean, it did like 100 to 1, like that. It was a boom. It was a boom. Lots of people got very, very rich off it. I've done, a little crypto investing myself and have done well, but I've also realigned there and hold just one now in particular. And that now has gone from 120 to, last time I checked a few days ago, under 93,000. So in a short period of time. So everything booms and then busts, or we like to call it it's a correction, because things are moving so fast and people are jumping on that ride. And then it's the fear of missing out. And so they're like, let me get in. But at some point it's going to come backwards. Right. It's like a car that goes up a hill, it's at some point going to come back down, unless the gravity changes on us. But I don't see that happening.
But even so, Mr. Davis, again, I'm not trying to go back like a dog with a bone to this notion, but it's kind of blowing my mind. Even crypto, you understand it's a thing that has a limitation. And so by definition, if more people want it, it's got a built-in limitation, at least Bitcoin. And so it'll go up or down depending on demand. Like, we understand that. It's still, it's a weird thing, but it's a thing. Yeah. but I guess my mind is being blown the more I think through a third of the economy, being embroiled with AI, because arguably AI could like you can't even trust the rules of normal economics with AI being loose in the economy, because
Right.
AI could autocorrect as there are too many dollars in the system. I'll, change the denomination of $10 to $1, or what is currency? AI has decided that paper dollars aren't currency and the yen is currency. Like there's literally anything is possible economically if AI is running itself and the economy is resting on something that is autonomously self-learning and self-altering. Is that not correct?
That's correct. Yeah, 100%.
That's
Yeah.
a huge problem.
I,
A huge problem.
and
Seriously.
it's a big problem. It's been a problem for a long time, but the gains in this sector are masking it, and it makes sense, right? But yeah,
But those are fake gains. It's like the tulip craze in the 18th century in the Netherlands.
Oh, right. Yes, yeah, I'm familiar with that. Yeah, 100%. It's very similar to that.
I mean, what you're describing, and I promise I'll move on, but I'm really trying to process this. What you're describing is not like, oh, AI is so good at what it does, everyone's jumping on the bandwagon because it's going to make so many things so much more profitable. It's more like AI is this crazy thing no one understands, and everyone's jumping on the bandwagon because everyone's jumping on the bandwagon, which is driving the value as opposed to innate value.
Right. Exactly.
That's the definition of a bubble. That's literally the definition of a bubble.
And that's why every economist, ranging from JP Morgan Chase to Goldman Sachs to Merrill Lynch to you name it, that's why they are calling this a boom, a bubble, and to pay close attention to it. And these are the same companies, JP Morgan Chase, that I'm sure that have done very, very well. Now, have they already moved some of their money out of it? I'm sure they have. I mean, do I know for sure? But when I see hedge funds at a JP Morgan Chase and liquidating their positions, they're exiting the market. When I see Warren Buffett exit the market,
oh my gosh,
in the tune of $325 billion, because he says the market's right now 72% inflated.
Oh my goodness.
Coffee. Yes, people should look up the Warren Buffett indicator. This has been his philosophy for a very long time. It's the same one that he used for the 2008. I mean, all market corrections, and so his algorithm, his stuff it's spot on. So it's 100%. You nailed it. 100%. It's a big concern.
So then, if that's what you're seeing, then we're looking at something that has happened before historically, which is the insiders are going to have moved out of this oncoming train, leaving Main Street, basically small investors, day traders, people who don't have that insider information, holding AI-based investments when the bottom falls out of it.
Holding AI-based investments, holding dollars inside of a dollar-denominated asset that is losing value, even if it is growing, the dollar's retracting. There's so many pieces, but that's the number one piece that's going on right now is this AI bubble.
So I promised to move on to the hidden recession, which is our next subject. But can I just ask, is this why, this may sound crazy, but is this why why Wall Street, basically all these big investment firms have moved out of New York and to Texas or to Florida, and they didn't seem that freaked out that a true Marxist has now taken control of New York? Or is that a coincidence?
I wouldn't know. I mean, for me, it could be a coincidence, or it could be what you just said in terms of a Marcus taking over there. I think I would say, with your educated guess, a combination of both.
Right. I mean, you really wouldn't want to be in Manhattan when the natives are, us New Yorkers are storming the gates with the firebrands saying, "Where's my retirement?"
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, wow. I think there's a lot more flexibility for a company as well in Texas than in New York.
Right.
hands down. Just look at taxes, right? No state taxes.
Right.
So there's a lot of benefits. I mean, a lot of companies, a lot of individuals are moving to certain states like that. Tennessee, you can go on and on. Florida. I think it's the flexibility. I think it's the actual message that they're driving there. More about people, more about retirement. They're operating much different than New York. New York is it's a mess.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, so what have we talked about the hidden recession? And if not, what is the hidden recession?
Yeah, so when you look at the hidden recession, right? Like you're talking like U.S. manufacturing, like numbers are decreasing at a rapid pace over the last 2 years. These are some of the indicators when our manufacturing industry is absolutely at a screeching halt, declining, laying workers off. This means, again, we're not exporting anything. That means no money's being made, no money's being pumped back into our economy, and there's no velocity of money, right? Someone that works at a factory then goes to the local restaurant, then tips the waitress, then the waitress goes to 7-Eleven, and then they buy something from 7-Eleven. And so we've got a velocity of money starting with the manufacturing, which the numbers are just astronomically low, all aligning with other resets we've had throughout time. 2008 is really what it's aligning up to be. And like I've been mentioning earlier, there's a hiring freeze since COVID. COVID was quite some time ago. We've had a hiring freeze. So when there's no money being made, there is no money being spent. There's no goods and services being provided or sold. And so when there's no money flowing, that's called a recession. When your GDP is negative quarter after quarter, that is a recession. Supply shock still impacting since COVID our economy. Now, some will say that's the reason he being Trump pumps the tariffs. So people go, oh my God, let me buy something before I have to pay 33% more for it just to bring it in. And then now, oh, we've got some inventory. Now we have to keep this person on payroll, but then they don't sell the inventory. They take a loss. They shut their business down, which is happening all the time because no one's buying anything. They don't have money to buy anything. Paper markets, right? This is, there's paper being passed around everywhere, but the real economy, like there's nothing happening. And so that's what we're talking about when we talk about a hidden recession, because no one's talking about these things, but it's happening right before our eyes. How many people out there are going, yeah, my cousin can't find a job. My cousin or my uncle or my niece can't pay her car payment, right? I think we talked about this.
Yeah.
Like that's actually a true story for me. I've got a niece that drives a Volkswagen, one of the newer little SUV ones. It costs her $750 a month for the car payment. Like,
why would she? How is that even possible? That's such a high.
that's an average payment now for a car, based on rates, based on cost of money, based on how tight everybody is. Banks and lending institutions, shadow banking is something that's real.
$50 a month just to drive a car.
That's an average payment from what I've read. That's an average payment.
Wow, that's shocking. I don't know how anyone can afford that.
I mean, a Chevy Raptor truck, if you want a nice one, the thing costs $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 if you want one of their top models.
But I've never understood who buys cars like that.
Be a lot. Maybe somebody that wants to feed the ego a little bit. I mean, I could see why. I think it's cool. I feel more empowering when I'm in a truck. I think a lot of that has to do mentally with why someone would want to, or impress. My father, I love him to death, but he wants to impress people sometimes, and so he'll buy something he necessarily doesn't need just to kind of have a certain stature. So I think that's
the American way. Also, aren't you in LA? It's a
I'm
very
in LA. I'm in LA, but I live in a little small town outside in Ventura County. I think we talked about that. So outside of LA County, small little, I guess you would call it like a bedroom community. Yeah, I mean, I think the square radius, the mile, I think it's like 3.66 miles. Small little town. So that's my saving grace, and why LA isn't too bad to me. Is I don't spend a lot of time in LA County, but you know we are in California, and I love the beaches and the sunny weather, and it keeps me here.
You're making me jealous.
How cold is it there right now?
It's cold. It's like frosty, autumnal. It's and I was born in California, raised in California. I miss it.
I know.
Very
we have been seeing some rain though, and it's I think it was like 45 degrees this morning. So
I am not going to feel sorry for you. You can drive up to Napa and have a Chardonnay on a weekend. I do not feel sorry for you.
True.
But
true.
I understand where you're coming from. So you're saying that people are, they may think on paper I'm making all this money, but practically, I'm sure you have clients who just month by month say, on paper I'm making whatever 6 figures. I can't cover my expenses.
Yeah, listen, my aunt, I'll give you my aunt, more like a sister to me. We're close in age. She's 52 years young now. Works for a group of attorneys, makes just over six figures, and she's barely making it month to month. Wow. She owns a condo. She's got just a regular Tesla, right? One of the newer Model 3s, the low model, right, which are very inexpensive. That's why I think he's done so well. He's priced that car very well. And insurance and food and a trip here and there. She's tight month to month. She's not. She doesn't. If she was to lose her job, it would be a big challenge for her to continue to pay her mortgage, to pay her expenses, her food, or her insurance, or whatever it is, right? Like that doesn't go far in California.
And I mean, I'm just thinking about healthcare and health insurance. I mean, you think it's X, and then suddenly it's $200 more a month, for one person, and that's very hard to budget for, even if you're super careful.
Before this company, I have a wife and 2 kids, Blue Cross Blue Shield, HMO. As being an independent contractor, I have to get my own. It cost me $2,400 a month for a family of 4 for health insurance.
That is crazy. That
insane. We fixed that, but it was but that's what I had to do during that period of time to make sure that we had health coverage.
Yeah, that is truly insane.
Isn't that insane? That's so much. It's so much money.
I don't have health insurance anymore because I did the math and I thought it's cheaper for me to just save up money in case my leg falls off.
We are so aligned there, but my wife, because all I had was my wife and 2 kids, because I peace of mind for her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, happy wife, happy life. And that's a true saying. But she kept bothering me. I was like, all right, I'm going to get it. But I'm the same as you. I did the math, and I'm fortunate enough to be pretty healthy and keep in shape. And I did the math. It was cheaper for me not to have health insurance either, and just go visit and pay per visit, or if I did have to go to the ER for something crazy, it was still cheaper than the annual cost.
No, it's true. Well, I don't want to get in the middle of that conversation. My husband and I have our own set of, I think it's crazy, honey, but I'm just going to do it. I have that conversation again. So I hear you. But so that's what you mean by paper wealth versus tangible assets. Like, people might think they're doing really well on paper, but we're still vulnerable. Is that what you mean? Or
yeah, think about it like this. Okay, so paper wealth versus tangible assets, right? 401k, is it really yours, right? Can you access the money if the institution was to go belly up, right? No, it's frozen. Like Lehman Brothers went out of business.
Right.
And then when they did, so did your entire retirement account.
Did that happen?
That happened in 2008. They closed Lehman Brothers.
No, I know, but people who had their IRAs couldn't get their money out?
It's gone. Yeah. If there's an insurance company going through some type of lawsuit, like an AIG, and their assets get frozen, those are your assets that get frozen. Like,
holy cow!
The institutional, it's institutional control. Digital wealth, someone else's permission. Like digital wealth, is that
right.
So central bank digital currency is central banks controlling this digital currency.
Right.
Is that really your wealth? These are paper or digital. I mean, everything's really digital, right? You look
right.
I go on my bank statement online and it gives me the number, and we all love looking at that number. I got that. But if the bank was to put a freeze on your account, this has happened to me at Chase. I had, for some reason, they said there was multiple social security numbers underneath my name, and they froze my business and personal account, and I couldn't get my money. And that was years and years ago, and that was the last time I ever kept my money in one bank.
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying.
I was actually able to call somebody and get the money freed up in one of the accounts, but then one of the managers came in and denied it. And so I had to borrow money from my employer at this time. This is back in like 2000, and I want to say like 2015 or 14, something like that. So that happens. Now, does this happen to everybody? No, but on a large scale throughout our country, it happens all the time. You hear these stories.
But it literally could. I mean, we know about the truckers in Canada. Since I last talked to you, people who happen to be Israeli or have Israeli-linked business ties in Spain got their accounts switched off. And with central bank digital currency, nothing prevents us, at least technologically, from being switched on and off like people are in China, who are sleeping in the street because they have a low social credit score, right?
100%. That's paper wealth.
Yeah.
Tangible is physical assets, physical gold, silver, platinum. It's yours, right? Like, see, this is mine. It's real. It's
a gold. Can I see?
Well, yeah.
That's so cool.
I love it. Look at it. It's real, right? Silver.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Big 5-ounce piece of silver. It's mine. I got a bunch of these. Now I've got some that are much smaller. They're like the size of a dime in silver or in gold. And if things do happen, it's legal tenure. I can go and buy things with it. So that's control. Real estate, it's physical. It's yours, right? No one can come on your property. It's yours. But if you've got it financed and you don't pay it, they can take it, right? We were talking about Rolexes, right? It's mine. I've bought and paid for it. A car, I've bought and paid for it. It's mine.
Right.
Like, these are tangible. Fine art. We were talking about fine art that you can put inside of a self-directed retirement account. Like, it's mine. It's fine art and it's mine. And if what breaks loose, hopefully I can find somebody to purchase that. But what would they purchase it with? Who knows? But at least it's mine. I don't, but that's why at the end of the day, gold and silver and platinum, it's yours. It's tangible. It's money. It's real money. And so that's what's tangible. Gold, they're talking about like a gold revolution scenario. It's written all over Project 2025. If no one's ever read that, look it up. Project 2025. The Genius Act, there's discussions within that act as well. So there's a lot of things that are happening right now that have a lot of people wondering, where can I put my dollars that can be safe,
right?
And I can't think of a better place than gold and silver. And obviously I'm a bit biased because of what we do, but just look at the facts.
Right. Well, have we been talking about the parallel with authoritarianism? I mean, you're talking about centralization of control in each case. And is that the parallel that you see? Like, it was a trial run with the COVID era to kind of centralize and see how obedient we could be. And now the economy is almost becoming centralized with AI, big tech, CBD, central bank digital currency. Is that your point here?
That's exactly my point. Economic control, right? Through digital platforms, AI. That's the, again, COVID era, manufactured consensus, silent dissent of the manufacturing, paper credentials over real immunity.
Mm.
These are the type of things that you really have to think about, like economy now.
Yeah.
Economy now is institutional capture, Fed, big tech,
Right.
manufactured prosperity, AI hype,
Right.
silenced recession warnings, right? There's warning signs that are being silenced. Paper wealth over real assets is what's the narrative. And you don't have to look, continue to put your money into that. I still do. I just don't put every single dollar into it.
Well, you bring me to a really important question. And sadly, we have come almost to the end of our time. I could talk about this for hours, but
I know.
but as I understand your company, you have people who will answer the phone and help people figure out how much platinum, how much silver, how much gold, how do I do a self-directed IRA, right? Like my husband and I are very bullish on everything you have shared. And
right.
Conversation has made me even more determined to just keep socking everything I can out of any potential luxuries for the rest of my life and into diversification from the matrix. But do you have people who literally can walk us through that?
100%. Very knowledgeable, experienced gentlemen, women across the board that know exactly what they're doing when it comes to moving money into gold and silver. That's all you're doing is getting educated on how you move your money from one place to another, from one asset class to another. And it's truly just about diversifying out of a tax concentrated market at this point that you've done well. Take your gains, move it and protect it and preserve it. Move a portion to physical assets. Keep some there. What is your risk level, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, if you're a 7, then keep 70% there and put 30 in something real. That's also, by the way, I mean, if you look at silver in the last year, it's up 64.3%. I'm looking at a chart right now because I look at it every day. Gold's up. 1 ounce of gold has gone up $1,418.33. It's up 53.57% for the year.
Oh my goodness.
And that's because people are getting out of harm's way, letting their money be in a safe. And it's just a peace of mind. You don't have to wake up, oh, where's that tech stock at today? Oh, how is it up? Is it down? Am I going to lose 20% in the next 3 months? Like everybody's saying, it's stressful. And at 74 years old, why not just have a peace of mind knowing that this is safe and sound? Central banks across the entire world are buying more of it than anybody.
Wow.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, that's something to pay attention to. My goodness.
Central banks are buying it.
I get it. Better us than them. I mean, it's kind of an argument, right? And seriously, there's only so much of it. Like Bitcoin, there's only so much gold. Even if you mine it, there's only so much on the planet.
100%. Finite resource. And it's in everything. Gold and silver and platinum, they're in AI technology. Like there's so much energy that's consumed from AI, which is it's insane. Gold and silver are in this technology. They need it. They need like the military. They make missiles. 500 ounces of silver is in each head of a missile.
I did not know that. That is amazing.
Like it's an industrial commodity. It's used in so many different things. The application is everywhere, especially silver, and why you're seeing it finally, have its day again.
Why? Because of these applications, silver is.
Because there's such a shortage of silver that there's not enough to produce. I mean, there's 15,000 applications for silver in solar, cell phones, TVs. I mean, you name it. It's in missiles. I mean, it's in darn near everything that we have. Platinum is very similar, and it's
Yeah.
and now that the pricing is starting to go up, and it's not going to stop. Now
Yeah.
they're going. Now the mining companies are opening back up because
Oh my
now it's
goodness.
worth them to go back in and mine. So yeah, we're in a boom right now when it comes
Boom.
to precious metals.
But all the more reason for your customers and clients to hold on to the silver and platinum while it goes up and up. Well, and these people should come to
Yeah,
us begging for it, right?
it's long term. You're 100%. It's not. You're not getting rich overnight. You're getting rich over time. And it's like, what legacy do you want
Well,
to
but
leave?
you're also not getting poor overnight, presumably.
100%. It's about like, what legacy do you want to leave behind, right? Do you want to leave that a legacy of a bunch of paper stocks that may not be worth much, a dollar bill that's not worth much? Yeah, leave some of that behind. But what other legacy do you want to leave? And
Right.
so I
I
think
love it.
this is what we educate on.
Mm-hmm.
When people call or they they request one of our guides and educate themselves more.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many ways that we can help, and that's all we're here to do is help educate on why gold and silver, like we talked about last time, and why we're talking about what we're talking about here now, and how you can do it, how you can protect it, and keep it for. Go ahead.
Oh, no, perfect timing. Well, I'd like you to tell people where they can find you and take next steps. Then I'm going to say goodbye to you, remove you from the screen, and tell people how they can call you using our promo code so that we can all benefit from getting people into their diversified state. But go ahead and tell people where to find you.
Yeah, so American Alternative Assets.com. Our website has a ton of information for you to educate yourself with. There's a learning center. We have a direct number on our website that you can call. We've got representatives that would love to speak with anybody, whether they're a novice coin collector, or it's their first time, or they just want to understand the mechanisms of how to move money into gold and silver. Or if they just want some educational material, we can email it out to them. But that would be the best way to get a hold of us, is just go to the website, dial our direct number, talk with one of our representatives. It's a very simple process from there.
Fantastic. And so now I'm going to say goodbye to you, and I'm going to tell people how to support you and support us. And we can't wait to talk to you again. This has been a completely mind-blowing, eye-opening conversation. I thought the last one was mind-blowing, but I was more like, and I'm going to take action immediately. I'm going to share this with my husband and with my mom and with my family, because I think the train is hurtling down the tracks even faster than when we last spoke. So thank you for all you do, Mr. Davis. I'm going to say goodbye to you now, and we'll see you again very soon. Thank you. Okay, everyone, you heard it from me and from Mr. Davis. Don't delay. I mean, I feel like I've got a fire lit under me, and Brian too. We've got to start looking under the cushions and putting more into gold and silver and platinum before we get kicked out of our banks and debanked, or worse, as you just heard. So the way you can help us is to use our promo code, which is cloutgold.com. And when you call American Alternative Assets, also mention Daily Clout or Outspoken, and that helps us with our sponsorship, and it helps us keep the doors open and keep independent media, independent reporting, and very exciting interviews, as well as the Geneva Bible readings coming to you all the time. Keeps BillCam up, keeps Legisector up, lets you find out about legislation at your fingertips and change it from your phone. All the things we do for you at Daily Clout and at Outspoken. So please help us out by supporting our sponsor, American Alternative Assets, and that's Clout Gold. And go over to Outspoken, and please support my podcast at Outspoken and my Substack on Substack. And you can subscribe, which I would really appreciate. Gift, you can send a gift for the holidays to Outspoken, and over at Daily Clout you can also subscribe or donate. So help us keep informing you, help us move up the charts on the podcast listings. We're in, again, the top 100 in a lot of countries, top 200 in even more countries. If you share or like or subscribe, it keeps us moving up the charts, and that's good for us keeping our doors open too. Love you all. Go diversify, and I will see you later. Take care.